Thank you for your interest in the STANLEY FG60. This video will review setup and operation procedures for the STANLEY cordless frog grinder. Begin by having two people lift the tool onto the rail utilizing the carry handles. If needed, once it is on the rail, have one person stabilize the tool while the other adjusts the pivot block assembly on the opposite side of the tool. Next, lift the end of the tool. Pull detent in the center of the block assembly and twist 1/4 turn. This will disengage the lock and allow the pivot block assembly to rotate to any of the 3 guide roller positions available for grinding rail and frogs. See the instruction manual for more information about the positions and how to use the guide rollers. For frog grinding, utilize either the large flat guide roller or small flat guide roller in the down position, depending on which part of the frog you are grinding. Once pivot block assembly is in the desired position, twist the detent to the original position and lock the detent back in place to hold positioning. Ensure the flat guide rollers are properly set on the rail. Repeat this process for the other side of the tool. Next, set up the frog arm. The frog arm can be attached to either side of the frog grinder. Insert frog arm attachment into the socket above the pivot block assembly. Insert pin through frame and frog arm to lock in place. The angle of the frog arm should be set at the factory, but if the angle needs to be adjusted, use a large wrench to loosen the locking jam nut. Then, adjust the screw at the top of the arm socket up or down to adjust the angle of the frog arm. Once the desired angle is achieved, tighten the locking jam nut. The frog arm will be at the proper angle when there is a small gap of 1/16 to 1/8 between the frame roller under the frog arm attachment point and the rail. This angle shouldn't require adjustment very often. The roller at the end of the frog arm is the contact point with the rail on that end of the tool and serves to follow the rail profile across gaps in the frog. Confirm frog arm and pivot wheel assemblies are in the correct position for grinding. If needed, the tension on the grindstone height adjustment wheel can be modified. To modify, locate the nut at the base of the height adjustment wheel. Loosen the nut and place a hex key in the center of the nut. Turn the hex key to adjust the tension. Once at the desired position, with the hex key still in the center of the nut, tighten until no longer loose. Startup procedures. Use the stone height adjustment wheel to raise the grindstone to be completely clear of the rail. Check the charge on each battery before placing in the tool. Place batteries in battery boxes and lock the lids. Squeeze the safety interlock until it touches the trigger handle. Squeeze the trigger until the tool starts. Safety interlock must be engaged to run the tool. Trigger cannot be squeezed without the safety interlock engaged. Operation procedures. Use the stone height adjustment wheel and adjust grindstone until it begins to contact the rail. Engage the safety interlock and squeeze the trigger to start the tool and adjust engagement of stone with rail as desired. Note, once the trigger is engaged, the safety interlock can be released and the tool will still run. If the trigger is released, the tool will stop and the safety interlock will need to be re-engaged to start the tool again. When grind is complete, reset tool to upright position. Disconnect the batteries and remove the frog arm. Complete these steps before moving the tool to the next grind location and/or storage. For maintenance or to change the grindstone, confirm batteries have been removed from the tool. Lay tool on its side. Adjust grindstone height to the lowest setting. Press the shaft lock button and hold down the lock shaft in place. Twist the stone by hand until the shaft lock button locks into place. Loosen the stone and continue to twist by hand until it can be removed from the tool. To replace the stone, place a new stone on the shaft and twist until it locks into place. The stone will self-seat on the shaft when tightened.